Hello and welcome to Stat Anatomy. In this video, we are going to be talking about epithelial tissue. So the human body can be broken into 4 different tissue types: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous. Epithelial tissue lines basically everything and creates ducts and glands. Epithelial tissue can be broken down into 6/9, can't count, different types. And their names are basically by the shape of the cell and then the number of layers that cell make up. So you have your simple, squamous. So simple means 1 layer, so you're going to have a squamous, which is a flat cell, cuboidal, which is going to look like a cuboid, like a square, and then columnar, which is going to look like a column, kind of a rectangle. So first we're going to talk about simple squamous epithelium, which is 1 layer of a squished looking cell that's going to have kind of elongated, squished looking nucleus. And it's just going to be very thin and lining. This is going to be like a lumen, a tube. And they are really good for rapid diffusion and filtration since it's 1 layer and it's thin. Stuff can get in and out and diffuse through. So it's going to be lining blood vessels, serous membranes are going to be made out of it, and like the air sacs in your lungs where diffusion takes place. Next, we're going to talk about stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium comes in 2 types: keratinized and non-keratinized. Keratinized means basically the top layer doesn't have, they're dead. Like they're dead cells, they don't have nucleus, and that's what your skin's made out of. So you've all heard that you have dead skin. This is your top layer and it kind of sloughs off and it just continually is regenerating. That's keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And it's really good for protection because there's so many layers and it's protected. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, or moist, are going to line cavities that are open to the outside, like the oral cavity, esophagus, vagina, and anus. Those are all going to be non-keratinized. So the nucleus is going to go all the way to the top, but there's going to be a bunch of layers. And both stratified squamous epitheliums have 20 to 40 layers. There's a lot of them, lots of layers. Next, we're going to talk about simple cuboidal epithelium. So there's 1 layer, and their shape of a cuboid, so a square, and the nucleus is going to be very round. Simple cuboidal are really good for absorption and secretion. They're found in ducts of glands and in kidney tubules in the nephron. Stratified cuboidal epithelium is really rare, as long with stratified columnar epithelium. It has 2 to 3 layers, same square shape, round nucleuses, and it's good for protection and secretion, and it's found in large ducts and most exocrine glands and some parts of the male urethra. The next one is simple columnar epithelium. So simple columnar comes in 2 types: ciliated and non-ciliated. You'll find the ciliated lining uterine tubes and bronchioles in the lungs. And the cilia are going to kind of make a wave-like motion to get, like in the lungs, it'll move away from the lungs to get bacteria and debris that you're breathing in, not to go into the lungs. Non-ciliated is going to be in your digestive tract because it'll be good for absorption and stuff. And there's goblet cells found in this because it secretes mucuses where they're found. Stratified columnar epithelium is rare, like cuboidal. It's found in some parts of the male urethra and, once again, large glands. It's columnar, so it has kind of elongated nuclei. The next one is pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So pseudostratified always is ciliated. And the reason why it's pseudo means fake. So it looks stratified because it looks like there's a bunch of layers, but it's actually not. Because every cell touches the basal layer, but not all of them reach the apical or top surface. So these are all simplified drawings, and so you can see that these don't quite reach, so it looks like there's 2 layers, and they'll have the same kind of elongated looking nucleus as the other columnar. The final one is pseudostratified is found in the respiratory tract and the epididymis and different parts of the male urethra as well. Transitional epithelium is found in urinary bladder, ureters, and parts of the urethra. The thing about transitional epithelium is it can contract and stretch and contract and stretch and contract and stretch, which is why it's in the bladder, the lining of your bladder, because your bladder has to be squished down and it's going to fill with urine, and it has to go back down and stretching down and stretching down. So in its relaxed phase, it's going to look kind of like simple squamous epithelium, so it's going to have tons and tons of layers, but the top cells are going to be nucleated, and they're going to be big and round, and they're going to be bumpy. And then when it's stretched, it's going to be flat and smooth. So these are all drawings in artistic renderings. I would suggest going online, Googling these, and looking at actual photos of these tissues to kind of get a hang of it. But I think if you're able to draw them, then looking at a slide, you can kind of draw it in your mind and know where they are. Well, that's everything. Thanks for watching.